Hey Brewers fans, we know it can get real cold outside. So let's warm you up with the latest on the crew. It's time for Hot Stove Weekly on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. It's time to focus on the 2026 championship season. Get the latest on free agent signings, trades, the front office, and the fans. It's Hot Stove Weekly with Tommy Wirtz. Here's the franchise Tim Allen.
And welcome in, everybody. It is another edition of Hot Stove Weekly. We are live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz. Tommy, Phoenix behind us, but certainly not behind the Milwaukee Brewers. They're in play right now. Last I checked, they were down 5-2.
Honestly, Tim, I love talking to you. I would rather be talking to you in Arizona right now. I mean,
Yes.
It is like the weather's just been all over the place today. I'm back in the office, so I'm being asked to do more than do what we did over in Arizona. I miss it. I miss it already.
Mother Nature has muscles still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, did you see the forecast for early next week?
No, I don't know what this is. Tim, are we about to get 48 feet of snow over the weekend?
Well, not only that, but I'm seeing a high of 24 on Monday.
That's garbage.
Wow. But here's the good news. You're through the big 90 days of winter in Wisconsin. December, January, and February. Mm-hmm. You are at least we're in front of that. Or I guess behind it. Either way. And now March provides some hope for us. Hope for better weather. And hope for Brewers baseball, and that's going to fire up 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yeah.
The 2026 championship season is just about upon us, just 2 weeks away.
Just doesn't even sound real when you say it out there. Right now, Brewers, as we were updating, down 5-3, the Cincinnati Reds. Couple of homers from the catchers today. None of them William Contreras, but Gary Sanchez and Reese McGuire both going yard as well.
You know, and think about this, starting 2 weeks from tomorrow, we are looking at just this everyday sort of good movie to watch when it comes to Brewers baseball. Well, we all are starved for entertainment at times, and especially in what some people call the dead zone of sports, and I've never agreed with that. A lot of sports talk show hosts over the years have said that, well, I take all my vacation time once the Super Bowl is done. There's nothing going on. The NBA is miles away from their playoffs. There's no baseball. There's no football. Hockey's still ramping up. And, no, I've never agreed with that. There's always something to talk about when it comes to the sports world. And, again, we've made a living out of making sure Milwaukee Brewers baseball conversation is a year-long thing. We're going to hear from Matt Arnold again. We caught up with him out in Arizona. We're going to hear from Pat Murphy. And Matt Arnold, he even admitted it to us, Tommy, that there's really no off-season.
Off-season. I had to call him out on it in the middle of the interview, too, when he tried to say the word off-season 2 minutes after he just said there is no off-season.
Right.
But it makes sense, right? And the offseason, does spring training cut that off? No, because we've seen moves like a Jose Quintana last season where the Brewers are always working and they're always in season trying to make something work out with whether it's roster personnel. Even Pat Murphy, right, getting his extension done this past offseason. Matt Arnold, he takes a couple of days off a year, and you'll hear that coming up too.
Some of the Brewer beat reporters have predicted their opening day roster, their 26-man. We're going to compare and contrast with what we believe and what they have. We had a round robin on Friday live from Arizona about the bullpen. Brandon Snide, you and myself. That was fun, just kind of paring down things. My man, Easton McGee. He's got a shot at this thing.
Dude, I mean, emphasis on your man, Easton McGee.
Okay.
He's going to take a spot from someone you want to see if he's on this roster. I'm telling you, Tim. I'm telling you that.
Well, we dissect and take a look around at everything Brewers. So one of the things that struck me out in Arizona. Well, there were many things, but this is one.
Are you talking about actually what hit you while you were out there? Because baseballs were pretty close the entire time.
They were just thumps all around me. They were trying. Everyone was trying.
You're like a magnet for those things.
We were sitting after a long day of work. Well, we call this work. I know no one's going to cry a river for us with a long day of sports broadcasting. They're not. So I understand that. But so we were up at 5:15 each morning and getting prepared and getting ready to go, and it's a long day, and we weren't done until right around 6:30 ish in the evening time, which is fine. Yeah. Again, as I said, you guys work a lot harder than we do. So Tommy, I went in either to grab a beer or whatever into the house. We were sitting on the patio. And when I came out, this is what Tommy Wirtz said to me. And I thought the first thing I thought of was, where have we gotten to in Brewers baseball or in baseball in general? Tommy said, hey, Timmy, listen, if I were to say that your shortstop hit 233 and had 11 homers, would you take it? And I went, yeah, I would. We were just comparing what Joey Ortiz did last year and then to this year, where it's like, hey, you know what? If he hits 240 with 11 homers this year, that's not so bad. That's not so bad at this point. And after I said yes, I went, there was this delay, and I went, what have we come to here?
Well, and the problem wasn't that we just did it for Joey Ortiz. Then it was, okay, if third base hits 15 homers this year and bats 245, you going to take that? You going to take it, Tim?
Sure, I'll take it. Baseball has changed so much. Bo Jackson was on a podcast a short time ago, and he alluded to that. And he was, I think he was pointing out Kyle Schwarber. But that's a different world.
Sure.
I mean, you can't. This dude knocked in 132 runs.
Right. He's a 50 homer a year kind of guy.
56 homers?
Yeah.
56 homers, 132 runs knocked in. You can go ahead and hit 40. You can. This other guy here, you got to pitch in a little bit better than that. So baseball has changed. And I will remind everybody, and I think you guys know this, that all 9 in your offensive batting order are not going to be stars. They're just not going to have the numbers. Can they pitch in other ways? Can they play defense? Can they have an on-base percentage? Can they be selective? Can they work a pitch count up? Which I think is it's a stat that is really, really underrated, Tommy.
Well, and it's something the Brewers did very well all year last year.
Yeah, they did. And that stat of running that pitch count up, imagine if that pitch count wasn't up for a guy like Freddie Peralta.
Right.
Over the years. So that is, can you pitch in other ways? So remember that when we go over this lineup, when we talk Brewers baseball, when the season gets underway, and we're going to see someone getting off to a slow start, and it's 1 for 9 or something like that. So just keep that in mind. But I thought that was a little anecdote that, we talk Brewers baseball on and off the air. And I've made this remark many, many times over the years, and I think it's worth repeating. We do, Brewers post-game coverage. We've been doing that for a long, long time. Well, the reality is that I was doing it well before that. The problem, or I don't even know if it's a problem. Problem was we did it over the phone.
Right.
We'll just call our buddies, namely Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. We'd been doing this show since the early to mid 90s. It's just when the game ends, it would be Sparky calling me or me calling Sparky. Said, what in the hell did John Jaha think? Those sorts of things. It's, so, but the main thing is all 9 of your players just keep, I'm going to try and show some patience as well. That my man is Joey Ortiz until further notice.
All right. Like starting day one, starting today, starting
day one.
Okay.
Day one. Yeah. I've been practicing being positive about Joey O.
Oh God. That's
It's like,
is that why you're sweating right now?
a few years ago, my girlfriend said, Tim, you know what we're going to work on with you? Being a nicer Tim Allen. That's what we're going to work on. And so
how's that going so far?
No, it didn't work. It didn't work. All right. Nicolay Law talking text line. If you guys want to jump in here, we'll make room for you. That's 414-677-1250, 414-677-1250. Our buddy Harley at the VA felt the need to pick up the phone and call Tim and Tommy. What's going on, Harley?
Gentlemen, welcome back.
Thank
Timmy,
you.
are you telling me you're moving on from Sal Frelick?
No, I wouldn't do that. I'm just saying I'm going to show some support and some positivity for Joey O.
Okay, all right, I'll let you off on that. Couple positions that I was wondering when you guys were down there. Do you think we have an everyday third baseman? And also, did you see or did you get any updates on DL Hall? Do you think he'll be on the roster?
Okay, interesting. Tommy, let's just cross-reference some of the beat reporters real quick.
Sure.
Do they have DL Hall breaking camp? Because we did.
Both Kurt Hogue and Adam McCalvey do have DL Hall breaking camp. Yes.
And we did too. Yep.
And if you remember, Tim, I would almost guarantee it to a point because of the Murphy comments of Aaron Ashby and DL Hall both being potentially stretched out into the rotation to be ready for the beginning of the season this year.
That, and he also said eventually there will be sort of by definition a long man.
Yes.
Maybe not right away, but it will morph into a standard long man.
And as for the third base argument, Luis Rengifo, I think it's had a pretty solid spring so far. And David Hamilton is going to be a guy that's going to platoon in there with also probably Bryce Terang and with also probably Joey Ortiz during that stretch. Now, when we asked David Hamilton, he didn't really play a lot of third base, still getting used to that position right now too. Luis Rengifo, all signs pointing to day one, he will be the guy. But again, at this point last year, Harley, we didn't know who was going to be the everyday third baseman, right? So it feels like they're in the exact same boat.
And just a quick comment for the Polish gamers. Just keep your thoughts and prayers with the guys over in the Middle East and the gals that are letting us have this radio show and go to the Brewer games and just enjoy life. They're putting their lives on the lines for us. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Well said, Harley. Thank you. And he did the same thing as a veteran in the Vietnam War. Harley, a good friend of ours here on the post-game show and all of our Brewers programming. So Harley, we call him a true American hero. All right. So, yeah, third base, Rengifo looks like he's going to get the nod. Yes, but it's not going to surprise me. Their versatility. You mentioned David Hamilton there. Jet Williams finally, injury report, finally going to get back on the field. It looks like tomorrow he's slated to play in a Cactus League game. The spring is slipping away for Jet Williams. He's not going to break camp with the club.
Well, I mean, slipping for opening day roster, sure. Okay, yeah. But I don't think that there's any reason to be necessarily too negative about what Jet Williams has done to this point. We haven't really seen a whole lot, and he still has all the hype of being another young guy that's going to be a middle infielder, maybe center fielder, and be productive and part of this Brewers future, Tim.
No doubt. He will be a part of it. And whether or not that's going to work, you would think with all the changes and all the roster moves and people getting hurt or not being as productive as they had hoped. Yeah. I mean, we're going to see Jet Williams at some point in 26.
Yeah, I would think so. A couple other injury medical updates from Adam McCalvey on Twitter. Logan Henderson, like you said, scheduled to throw a mound session tomorrow, return to game progression on March 15th. Quinn Priester is seeing a specialist in Dallas tomorrow, seeking answers about his lingering right wrist soreness. Akil Baddoo also straining his left quad, running to first on Monday. He was to be evaluated today to establish a timeline and a plan of care. So a couple of updates on the injury side of things for the Milwaukee Brewers at camp.
That's tough for Baddoo. He's going to need everything to make the squad. Was that a minor league deal too?
It is kind of I can't forget the terminology, like a mutual deal or something, right? So if he makes big league camp, he's going to make, I believe the number is $1.2 million.
Yep.
If he makes the minor leagues, it's $850,000. So it's above the league minimum, but he goes down to the minor leagues, obviously, and makes a little less money.
There's another guy that you will see in 26. It appears.
Yes.
Over the course of time, I mean, Garrett Mitchell, just cross your fingers that he stays healthy. And, we have yet to see the best of Garrett Mitchell. We just have. And hopefully he gets off to a good start. Out in that outfield depth, Blake Perkins, obviously, is there. Jake Bowers, going to be a little bit of depth. Having a great spring, by the way.
Tim, Jake Bauer should start opening day in left field.
It's possible.
He should. I'm telling you, he should. This is a guy batting over 500 right now in spring. He's showing the pop. There's a righty on the bump. Shane Smith, former Brewer, going for the White Sox on opening day. It's already been announced. Jake Bauer should start in left field on opening day.
Yeah, I could see it.
If Churrio's going to play center and Frelick's going to play right, you're making a decision between Garrett Mitchell and Jake Bowers in left field. And as of right now, who's come up bigger in bigger situations?
And Yelly's your DH.
Yelly's DH. Yeah. He kind of throws a wrench into the outfield situation because I don't know what changed in the middle of last year, Tim, but that was another conversation that Pat Murphy was asked about quite a bit in the beginning stages of Christian Yelich getting back to full health on playing left field. Now, I don't know if I was begging for him to play left field by any means, but they had said verbatim last year, he is our left fielder. He is our left fielder. We want him out there in the field. And we kind of smelled that out from July on that's not the case. He's going to be the DH every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And really, he didn't play all that much in the outfield.
No, and he's not quite a plus outfielder, I don't think, anymore. He used to be a Gold Glover, but I don't think he kind of does the Ryan Braun, business decisions in left field when he is asked to be out there.
Yes.
But I still think that they wanted to try and they just felt like it was time to give up on that experiment.
I bought a Christian Yelich baseball card out in Arizona.
You did.
I spent $5
$5
on that.
Yeah.
$5 on that card. $5 on that Christian Yelich card. Was some sort of jersey patch card.
Had a patch in it. Yeah, it was a cool card. It was a cool card.
Yeah. Yeah, I love them. Okay, one other little bit of a gripe here. Quinn Priester, you mentioned, headed to Dallas for a specialist. Why didn't you do this last week?
Right, when we knew he was injured.
When you knew the diagnosis is getting a little tougher.
Well, and that was actually right. Like you're saying, it was a tough diagnosis. They still really haven't diagnosed anything other than it's sore and it's also inconsistent, right? He would pitch and sometimes he's fine after. He would pitch and then the soreness would come back. So they haven't diagnosed anything yet.
No, it's too bad. It's a wrist thing and there's some nerves going on there. And you wonder about some of these pitchers, and to a large degree, I can't blame them. They're going as a young pitcher, you're going all out to maintain a roster spot, to make a roster spot, to make a bunch of money. And you go outside your comfort zone and you subject yourself to injuries. I mean, pitching a baseball is teaching your body to do something that it's really not kind of built to do.
Correct. Yes.
And you take advantage of that a lot of times, a young pitcher. And again, as I said, I can't blame these guys for doing that. We can blame guys for taking a shot at, going PED route and the steroids and all that stuff. I mean, that's debatable. That's arguable. There's a conversation there. Yeah, waggle your finger at them. Shame on you. You can't do that. But to go all out and to expand the energy that your body is saying no, I can't blame him. And I wonder if Quinn Priester is kind of paying the price for that year he had last year.
Well, and another sneak peek into some of the looking ahead at the roster projections for opening day. Neither having Quinn Priester on it because both expecting an IL stint to start off 2026.
And it wouldn't surprise me after the specialist. I don't want to be doom and gloom here, negative Ned, but it wouldn't surprise me that there's a 60-day just to scrub it and say, hey, we're not going to force things. We're not going to hurry. It's a long season here. Let's get you healthy mid and late season. Let's go 60-day for you. Yeah, we'll see. That's too bad. That's too bad. We were all looking forward to Quinn Priester's follow-up.
Yes.
We wanted to know if Quinn Priester was going to be one of the big three, like a Burns, Woody, and Peralta. Yeah, that may not happen, at least not early here in the 26 championship season. Okay, so we felt the need to get people caught up. A lot of people couldn't catch our show last week, all week long, spring training live from Arizona. We're going to get to both Pat Murphy, our conversation with Murph last week, and next hour we'll get to Brewers general manager Matt Arnold. You're going to like that one as well. And then Mark DeRosa made a mistake.
Maybe should have just shut up.
Maybe. You might want to check some guidelines. It's like heading into another park and you don't read the ground rules to refresh yourself. Isn't that standard?
Isn't that what every AAU baseball coach from U6 to WBC should do, Tim?
Yeah, maybe just check the rules. All right, we'll get into that as we move along. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen. I almost called you Tom Allen. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen, talking Brewers baseball. As we move along here, you can jump in here on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250. It is Hot Stove Weekly. Just a couple of shows left before the season gets underway. Here live in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sports left-hander in just a few minutes, so stick around for that. Not having the greatest of springs there, Mr. Left-hander.
No, not looking great. However, though, you can't really call that trade a loss ever, because remember, he came over with Josh Hader moving over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you never make that trade, you never have William Contreras. And I feel like
That's right.
all Brewers fans would take William Contreras.
Just Asturi Ruiz has his fingerprints all over Brewers baseball, and he wasn't even here long.
No, he was. What did he get? Did he get 20 games with the crew?
I don't even think that.
Yeah, it was a month, right? If that, he came up in September. I think he was a call up, maybe the same year as Garrett Mitchell. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Maybe the year after, because they missed the playoffs the year that 2023, maybe it was Asturi Ruiz. I got this. If only there was a machine in front of me that could.
Yeah, that would
look
be
this
great
entire
if someone
thing.
would invent that informational machine.
So Asturi Ruiz came up with the Brewers in 2022, and he played 3 games with the Brewers.
Yeah,
9 at-bats.
But Gasser, I mean, he's coming off the elbow. It's going to take a little while. He burst on the scene. But anyway, we'll hear from Robert Gasser coming up in a little while. Last week, Pat Murphy was nice enough to sit down with us for a 2-on-1 interview. Sit back and enjoy that. We did talk about Blake Perkins a little bit, but Murph, after a new deal, I started out with congratulating him on that. Pat Murphy here on Spring Training Live. I know that you feel rather uncomfortable or don't want to talk about it, but I have to say it. Congrats on a deal, and we talked about that in your briefing. That the numbers are what they are, and that really doesn't matter. But congratulations on behalf of the fans and certainly myself.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm happy to have a locker. That's the most important part. I've been part of the Brewers for 11 years, and I'm very, very grateful that I can go forward and try to make a difference. And got a great staff. We've got a great number of guys that are just wonderful people. And I feel very fortunate.
Success is defined in many different ways, I'm finding out. It's a varying definition from the fan standpoint or a coaching standpoint or a manager standpoint, a GM. It goes all over the board. What does define the success? So for you and the Milwaukee Brewers, I mean, what a beautiful number, 97 wins. Actually, it's 100 wins when you add it all up. And some would say that that's crazy good, a franchise record. And others would say that, just a little short, a little bit here. Where is the definition of success for the Brewers?
I think everybody has their own opinion on everything. I think what the Milwaukee Brewers have done in the past 10 years, 9 years, is one of the best in baseball, despite not having the same payroll, the biggest payroll discrepancies in any of the major sports. And to do that requires great people. And, I think it's been evident that we've had great people, starting with the front office and going on down to the players, which is really the most critical piece, their willingness to play a certain way. And I'm thankful to be a part of it. Saying that it's successful or not successful, look, when a team wins the most games in baseball, that's successful. When you don't win the tournament, that's unfortunate. But it doesn't get winning the most games in baseball is all you can do. There's nothing more you can do. Winning the tournament is a little more difficult. On specific days, having your best day or not having your best day is a little more difficult. But nonetheless, it's our goal. But it's to define success that way is up to the individual.
Yeah, I want to introduce you to my new broadcast partner, Tommy Wirtz. Here's Murph, and Tommy's as big of a Brewer fan as I am. So we're all in love with the Brewers.
Well, and we're looking over here, and I don't mean to eavesdrop too much. You got the lineup out here, and at the top of it, you have stay hungry, stay aware, attitude today. Is something like last season where you do get a taste of super high success across Major League Baseball help embody something like that to put at the lineup, and people now have maybe a better understanding of, hey, we were hungry last year, and now we got to stay hungry and stay aware and make sure that this day-by-day process is fully executed, because we witnessed it last year and it worked to an extent.
Well, I think it worked to more than an extent. I mean, we had the best record in baseball, so let's give that 2025 team its due.
Yeah.
What they did, and let's keep in mind that there was not too many people out there that believed we'd be better than 500.
Sure.
After trading some of the people we did, and everybody complained about, we didn't pick up this guy, we didn't pick up that guy. The bottom line is these group of guys went out there and won the most games in baseball, and no one thought they could. And they did it the year before that too, won 90-some games, and nobody predicted them over 500. So what is it? It's the group of guys. And we have a lot of those guys back, but you stir the soup differently. This is 2026, and you stir the soup differently. And the expectations are not set by others. Once again, nobody's predicting us to win 90 games. Nobody's predicting us to do much again, because, again, we've traded off some of our better players. But, again, we don't operate on other people's expectations, just on our own. It's 2026. I think we're in store for a great journey, a great battle. The league in division will be even better. We had 3 teams go to the playoffs. It'll be even better this year because teams have really tried to shore up their team, whatever, in their own way. And we have our own way of doing it. And, I look forward to it. I look forward to the challenge.
Well, and the challenge is it's tough to stay hungry when you're full. I mean, you have to keep that hunger in there. In knowing you, Pat, for now close to 10 years, you really mean it when you get a kick, or you get a kick out of, and rewarded from somebody else's success. So from when you see a young player do your quantum leap term or phrase, that really is something special to you. And I just wanted to convey that to the fans, that you do get a kick out of that. That's a win in itself.
That's what it's all about, to be honest with you. I care about our fans a great deal, and I think I've demonstrated that. And I respect our fans. I respect the difference, and they respect the difference of the job we have to literally thread the needle, because we aren't a big market. And to represent the way we have, I know the fans are very proud of it in general. They all want us to go that next step, which would be the World Series, which sometimes falls into place and sometimes doesn't. It's not luck of the draw, but it is, who's hot and who's not during the tourney. But all we can do is all we can do, and keep striving. But to get to that mountaintop is very, very difficult. But for me, that's the end result of the team. But for me, watching players, find their best self or start to realize I belong, that's what it's about. Like when I see those players grab that belief in themselves and see what they're become aware of what they can do to help us win, and then they do it, that's a kick for me. I love that.
Spring Training Live here. Pat Murphy talking with Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen. We talked about this a little bit yesterday on our show. When you make comments like quantum leap, you have a criteria that goes through your head when you say something like that? When you make something about Bryce Terang last year, quantum leap, and then he makes you look great in the second half with that prediction. When you say the phrase like that, what goes through your mind to claim the term quantum leap for a player?
I mean, a player recognizing, how much better he can perform, how much he has in the tank that he hasn't used, and then doing it.
Is that something you guys recognize before a player, or you think a player is in that moment recognizing that they can make that quantum leap?
All that matters is the players end up realizing it. But yes, we do recognize things. Our staff recognizes things that, hey, you know what, this guy's about to take a quantum leap, or this guy's on a path, or this guy understands, do this and this. But I'd be lying if I said I knew for sure everybody. The Bryce Terang thing, I actually said quantum leap 2 years ago, and he's continued to grow as a player. Not everybody believed that this kid was going to be an everyday player in the big leagues, and not everybody believed offensively he was going to flourish. We did, and I was upfront about it. That's all. It wasn't rocket science. If you're a baseball guy and you're paying attention, you're like, hey, this kid's got it. I didn't,
Did you foresee starting second base for Team USA today when you made that prediction?
I certainly, defense is a huge part of how I view players, and he won the Platinum Glove that year. So I'm not surprised he's starting for USA. I'm very, very. There's a lot of great second basemen out there, and I don't judge whether he's good or not by whether he's starting tonight. But it's just a great story, and to see him come on the way he has is not really that big a surprise. It happened. You saw the potential, and then it happens. It doesn't always happen that way on the timetable that it did.
All right, a couple of quick hitters here, Pat, and then we'll turn you loose. Were you? We stop every year when I come out here. I hit a baseball card shop, and it's just always been a passion of mine, and collecting cards and opening up packs and things like that. Were you a card collector?
Not really. It's funny. Somewhere in my home in Syracuse, New York, is a Mickey Mantle rookie card. I'd like to give the address because someone will go there and try to get it. But somewhere there, I hid it in a certain spot that I don't think anyone could find. I really don't. My
sister just found one in her remodeling in Madison, found a Ducky Medwick card, which probably worth 20 or 30, $50 maybe. But that surprises me. I would have thought you would have been a card guy.
Are your kids into it now?
My kids are into it. Okay. They don't really know what they're doing yet with it, but they got a lot of cards, put it that way. Interesting. Growing up and where I did, baseball was not the number one sport. It just didn't seem like football and basketball. I boxed and I played baseball. And it's like those were the sports that you emphasize, and you just went from sport to sport to sport. You got cards. I didn't get very many. We put them on our bicycles and made the sound in the spokes, but I didn't realize there was value, or I didn't collect them just to collect them. It's funny because now my kids are collectors of a lot of different things, and as little ones, they acquire a lot of collections. But I didn't have a collection of anything except Notre Dame football facts when I was a kid.
Okay.
So.
What's the best one you got off the top of your head?
Well, you can't name a player on the 66 from 66 to 73 that I don't know their number.
He knows their height, weight, serial number. Yeah, the whole 9 yards. I've
won many trivia questions or whatever on that.
In Milwaukee, do you, again, just quickly, do the fans leave you alone when you're out and about? Yeah, I know it's family time, and hey, Murph, or do they pester you for an autograph? And they're great. Trust me, I know a lot of Brewers fans who talk to them every night. But do they leave you be?
No, and I'm glad they don't. I don't look at it as pestering me at all. Everybody's been super respectful. They've been respectful to my kids. And I don't mind at all. Who am I that if I represent your team currently, that I can't say hello or sign an autograph or take a picture? I love it, to be quite honest with you. I don't get tired of it. I don't. Is it more? Yeah, it's more. Is it always easy for my kids when I'm at a baseball game and I have to sign and take pictures for 15 minutes? But so what? I look at that as part of the job and part of the responsibility. So I'm going to continue to do that. They never pester me.
So what? Final thing. How do you get Tommy? How does he come up with these words? These you get like once a month you come up with the word. I love the conviction. You know that. I love the conviction, and I think it's actually quite a good philosophy. You should at some point play with conviction. It should be with fun, but it should be with determination as well. But what you read a dictionary to find these words?
I don't. And I don't think they're that sophisticated, Tim. I don't know what that says about
Anything
me
over
or you.
3 syllables for Tim is
Well,
sophisticated.
I don't know what it says. I'm not very sophisticated myself, but I don't look at these words as anything that.
But like you wrote down on the lineup card here in front of us. I mean, that's just sort of
Stay hungry. Those are words that I need to explain to you. Stay hungry.
No. But you
attitude today.
It seems like you simplify things and cut to the chase a lot. With just is that what it is too? That you just kind of define it.
I don't know what I do. I don't evaluate that, but I think there's ways to connect, and there's reminders, and it doesn't matter if I think other people would be way more articulate than me and maybe say things way better than me, but I just got to be me and do it the way I do it. And I think it's a simple thing. I think it's good to keep it simple. But please don't mistake me for anybody that's very bright or anybody that has a huge vocabulary.
He just does not like compliments. He just doesn't. He's like a radio guy.
Stay humble needs to be at the top of the lineup card
humble.
now too.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That might be a good thing, to be honest with you.
Pat, good luck here in the 26th championship season. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, there he is, Pat Murphy. Always a fun conversation. We want to thank him for his time throughout the spring and including all summer long. So you'll be hearing more with us and Pat Murphy later on in the championship season. All right, we'll get to Matt Arnold coming up in the next hour. Also, Robert Gasser got off the mound today. He had a couple of comments. So stick around. We're talking Brewers baseball. It's Hot Stove Weekly live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. coming up in the next hour. I wanted to run this by you before the top of the hour hard break here. USA Today's power rankings on Cactus League opening day. So a few weeks ago, check this out. Dodgers at number 1, Phillies at 2. That's no surprise. Blue Jays at 3, Mariners, then the Yankees at 5, Cubs were at 6. And it just gives a little sentence on each team. Here's what it says about the Cubs. Not much boom, more bust potential for that pitching staff. Okay, I like that.
Yeah, we'll take that. Cabrera did show out when we went over there, it felt like.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. All right, so 7, the Red Sox. 8 would be the New York Mets, the Tigers at 9. And then rounding out the top 10, the Milwaukee Brewers. And it says, famous Wisconsinite Harry Houdini would be impressed if they could pull off their next trick. Okay.
All right.
I'm being surprised.
Yeah, every year, is that what did you just copy and paste that from last season?
Probably because it I don't even know at some point, maybe not ever, because they won't be star-studded up and down that lineup from a national perspective. And I've always said this, Tommy, in the past few years during this decade run here, that the national guys, they don't see the brand of baseball we see on a regular basis.
Correct.
They see some highlights. They see a Yelly 2-run double, and oh wow, Bryce Terang is really stepping up, or Mizorowski bursts on the scene. They see really these no-brainers, but we see the inner workings of a Sal Frelick getting on base with another infield single. Then he steals second base. He moves over. We see all those things. It's the coolest brand of baseball for me. This whole home run barrage and all that. Yeah, it's all fun. And I went through Bambi's bombers and Harvey's wall bangers and things like that. So the Brewers have been there. But, Tommy, this brand of baseball, these little gnats that just keep coming at you, I love it.
It's relatable, Tim. A lot of us growing up playing the sport, we stopped playing because ultimately we weren't really good enough and we couldn't hit the ball over the fence. And maybe we struck out a little bit at times, but the things that you could control, your attitude, your energy, your effort during it, those are the things that kept you in love with the sport for all those years. And sure enough, it seems like that's what the Brewers epitomize when they play at the big league level. It kind of makes you feel like you're a part of the team a little more.
I want a lower chase rate. I want higher pitch counts per at bat. I want on-base percentage, and I want a batting average. I want stolen bases. I want hit and run. All of those things are what the Milwaukee Brewers do these days. It's just all of them. It's a beautiful form of baseball, and I think you're right. It's relatable to the state of Wisconsin. Well, we all work hard and play hard. I think that's what the Brewers do. All right, we'll take a break here, come back. We'll hear from Robert Gasser, also WBC manager Mark DeRosa may have cost Team USA. Is that possible? We'll see. We'll make heads or tails out of that. It's Hot Stove Weekly. Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen talking Brewers baseball live in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
It's time to focus on the 2026 championship season. Get the latest on free agent signings, trades, the front office, and the fans. It's Hot Stove Weekly with Tommy Wirtz. Here's the franchise Tim Allen.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2, talking Brewers baseball and Hot Stove Weekly. Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz, and 2 weeks from tomorrow, Brewers against Chicago. Not that Chicago team, the other one. What would you take? Okay, if I ask you now, would you take a series victory to open up the 26 championship season, winning 2 of 3 against the White Sox? Would you take it?
Yeah.
I think I would.
Winning is never a bad thing. Tim Allen once taught me that.
That's right. All right, we're talking Brewers baseball. They were in action today. That final again against the Reds. Reds got a little bummer of a deal with one of their frontline guns going down to injury as well.
Sounds like Hunter Green with some elbow injury, going to miss all the way through July with some sort of chips going on over in the elbow bone. Final today from Cactus League action, 6-3, the Cincinnati Reds over the Milwaukee Brewers. We talked about it on the offensive side. Gary Sanchez, Reese McGuire, each with a homer today. They drove in all 3 runs as well for the Brewers. On the pitching side, Robert Gasser, who you'll hear from in just a couple of minutes here, 2 2/3, 5 hits, 4 earned, 4 strikeouts. Jared Koenig, however, gets back on track. 1 inning of work, 1 hit, 1 strikeout.
That's 2 in a row for Jared Koenig. That's nice.
Trevor McGill, an inning, 2 strikeouts in his time. No base runners allowed. Grant Anderson went an inning and a third with a walk, no hits, no strikeouts. Craig Yoho, 2/3 of an inning, 2 strikeouts with a walk. Sammy Peralta, 3 hits, an earned run, no strikeouts.
Guys like Grant Anderson, guys like Craig Yoho, will they make the roster? We'll talk about that in just a second here. Don't know if there's room for Robert Gasser at this point, but that depth in the starting rotation, always good to have. It's going to take a little bit for Gasser to really put the surgery behind him, but got beat up a little bit in Cactus League action today. Here's Robert Gasser after the game.
I got him somewhere over here. 1 sec. He's not working for me. Here he is, Robert Gasser.
From today.
Man, I feel like I competed decently. Obviously the home runs stick out to me, but I threw all my pitches for strikes, which is great. Got the pitch count up, but yeah, I mean, wasn't my favorite outing.
It's that fine line, right, between getting the pitches and getting the work, but also wanting.
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's I want good results. Who doesn't want good results? And but that's part of it. Just got to learn from it and try to improve for the next time. And
what is feedback right now on your fastball in particular? 2 homers on it. You're not seeing the same swing and miss so far, but again, it's from training. What do you see out of it right now?
I think it's more so when and how I'm using it. Those pitches, I feel like they were trying to pull me today. They were trying to hit get the head out, and 3-0, tip your cap. That's good baseball, way to swing. The slider to McLean, wasn't terrible, just a little up. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just usage, when and where, and what side of the plate I'm throwing it to.
How do you feel your stuff is just playing right now that you're healthy and you've had the off season and have had time to sort of like feel normal again? Like, has it responded how you thought it would at this time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like it's a change much from years past. I think it's more so just keeping getting the reps. It's obviously it's spring still, but yeah, results still matter.
Well, that's the other part of it, right? It's still spring, but there's 2 weeks to go. There's probably 2 more outings for you.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at this start, or when you look at what's left for you to check off to feel like you can be on this team, what do you want to accomplish?
Quick outs. I feel like I've worked both outings. I get pulled in the 3rd inning. We're trying to get to 3 and to 4. So, just getting deeper into the game. Being resilient, especially with guys on. A little bit. That was decent today. Obviously solo shots, but just being resilient and competing even when it's not going my way.
Are you getting to the point now in camp where you start to try to see where is this going? How are they going to make up the team? Where am I going to fit? Is it getting to that point of spring training?
I mean, obviously those thoughts, float around in the head. At the end of the day, got to go out and do my job. That's every fifth or sixth day, get the ball and, go 5 or 6 innings, wherever it is. But yeah, I mean, tomorrow's tomorrow. Got to get ready for the next outing, and whatever happens.
There he is, Robert Gasser, after his outing today. Again, if you missed it, 2 2/3, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 5 hits today. Tim, no walks. It's positive.
Yeah. How baseball has changed. Yeah, I want to get back to going out there and giving you 5 or 6.
You hate that. God.
It's just wow.
I saw a tweet today for you that would have made you so excited. It was about Bob Gibson, and I believe it was his innings from like the 1968 year. Innings pitched in 1968. Here's the game log. I can read it this quick for you. Ready? Opening day, Bob Gibson went 7. His next outing, he went 7. All right. Now get ready for this. 9, 9, 12, 11, 8, 9.2, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 11, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 10, 8, 9, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9.
That's crazy.
Insane.
I mean, Denny McClain, and again, this is old codger stuff, but Denny McClain's like 27 complete games a year or something. I mean, that's just so wild. It's a specialized sport now. I understand. But what's wrong with, this is what I thought. Now, athletes are bigger, stronger, faster these days, this era, if you will, than they were in prior eras. So wouldn't that go to show that the strength, endurance, and would be more length? I don't know. But then you have bullpens being bigger, stronger, faster.
Right.
So you have to insert that into the equation. Well, it's weird.
For reference, that was 34 starts and 28 complete games for Bob Gibson. And one of those was 9 2/3. So you don't get the complete game out of that. 13 of those were shutouts, 304 innings in an MVP season for Bob Gibson back in 1968 there.
I mean, the only thing the Brewers could equate would be like a Teddy Higuera or a CC Sabathia on that run.
Yeah, so 2008 back end CC Sabathia type stuff. Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Let me squeeze in Bill here before we get to the question, who makes the roster here for the 26 championship season, that 26-man roster. Bill, what's going on, Captain?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, good talking to you again. I was listening to that interview with Murph, and he talked about that Mickey Mantle card. I just had to call and mention, when I was a kid, I actually had a rookie card from Bob Uecker, and the farmhouse caught fire, and I lost my shoebox full of baseball cards. Sure wish I had that card.
But, big time.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. I think Turang is going to be MVP this year. I just have a lot of faith in that kid. He's
MVP
great.
of the league or the team?
The league.
Oh, wow. Oh,
League.
okay. All right. A lot of stiff competition there, Bill.
Well, I know, but did you hear, I think it was the manager of the United States team talking that some general manager from one of the big teams needs to try to get him away from the Brewers?
Of course the Brewers get henpecked all the time.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the season. I think it's going to be a very successful season, and I think they're going to pay the Dodgers back in the playoffs. Talk to you later.
Go. All right. Thank you, Bill. Yeah. Bill's a huge, huge Brewers fan. I think I made mention of this, Tommy, in prior shows here, you and I, that Bill's a dude that all summer long he's sitting on his deck in Iron River, Wisconsin. After the game, has the post-game show on, had listened to the game, and just having a cigar and a drink and just enjoying life. So that's good stuff,
sounds like
Bill.
it could be worse.
Yeah, things could be a lot worse than that. You're a pretty lucky guy. Okay, so a couple of the beat reporters, Kurt Hogue, JS Online, and Adam McCalvey, MLB and Brewers.com, they kind of posted their breaking camp 26-man roster.
Yes.
Any surprises that you've seen, Tommy?
Tim, they are identical other than one name on this list between Adam McCalvy and Kurt Hogue. Do you want me to go up and down this and you can be the judge of which one might surprise you?
Yep, let's do it.
So let's start with the catchers here. The catchers, very obvious choice that William Contreras will be a part of this opening day roster, and both Adam and Kurt have Gary Sanchez as the backup catcher to William Contreras. Any surprise there for you?
No, maybe a slight surprise. I thought there may have been a slight chance of 3 catchers, but Caro still needs some seasoning.
I would agree with you on that one. Going to the infield now, the all are the same here. First base being Andrew Vaughn. Jake Bauers listed as a bench utility guy, but also assuming he will be the other first baseman. Second base has Bryce Terang. Shortstop, Joey Ortiz. Third base, Luis Rengifo. The rest of the bench rounded out with David Hamilton, who again both of them have. Any surprises with the bats so far?
No, that's exactly the way we had it.
The outfield has 4 outfielders for each. It is the same 4: Jackson Churio, Garrett Mitchell, Sal Frelick, and Blake Perkins. Now, I don't necessarily see it as a surprise, Tim, but if someone could break camp for opening day, Akil Baddoo would have a case, I think, right?
Yeah, could be. And I think Bauers, your guy, he allows the Brewers to go without the conventional 4th and 5th outfield. That does give them, in theory, an extra roster spot. Plus, Christian Yelich, if need be, can play some outfield. If Bauers can, so can Yelich.
Christian Yelich is listed as the DH for both of them. Again, making that 26-man roster. They are identical with the bats on who makes it. And again, I don't know if I really have much argument for anyone else other than maybe Akil Baddoo.
Yeah, Baddoo, we were kind of thinking early on in camp, or maybe even prior to, that Jet Williams may have had a shot at it. But outside of that, yeah, no surprises here. It appears they really like David Hamilton.
Well, I think he's had a decent enough spring too. And the versatility, he can play outfield as well. That's probably helping his case, Tim, for maybe they don't have a 5th outfielder, but they have a 5th outfielder between Jake Bauers and David Hamilton together if ever needed, and or Yelich, an emergency or Yelich in an emergency type situation. The pitchers, there's one different pitcher. Otherwise, they are identical again here from Adam McCalvy and Kurt Hogue. And they have great written little pieces about each one of them in there. So you should definitely go check them out at MLB.com. And of course, over at the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. I don't want to spill away all of their inside meat and potatoes here. But the starting rotation, Tim, why don't you give me your ideal starting rotation? I will say this real quick. Quinn Priester is not listed again on this roster because of injury. That is the only name. Woodruff is on for both of them. Yes.
Yep. So Woody, Mizorowski, Patrick.
Yep.
Kyle Harrison.
That's 4. Oh, just making sure your mic didn't turn off there. Okay.
So they both have those 4.
They both have those 4. They do not have the same number 5.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm pausing here. Now, I
okay.
Does one of them have Sproat?
Kurt Hogue has Brandon Sproat making the opening day roster as the number 5 starter for the Milwaukee Brewers. Adam McCalvy has Aaron Ashby listed as the number 5 starter.
And that is a horse apiece, a flip of a coin. However, I'm going to go with Aaron Ashby.
Really?
Yep. They
do you want to go with
kid?
Do you want to go with Aaron Ashby, or you think they're going to go with Aaron Ashby?
I think they're going to go to Aaron Ashby. I would leave him in that role he was last year.
Yes.
Because he was outstanding.
He was outstanding. And the relief pitchers, all virtually the same. And we did a great job with Brandon Snide last week here, Tim. Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill, Jared Koenig, Angel Serpa, Grant Anderson, Rob Zastrizny, DL Hall. We had all of those guys. Remember, the lone other reliever is Easton McGee on Adam McCalvy's list. The only reason why they are not identical to Kurt Hogue is because Hogue has Ashby in the bullpen, Sproat as a starter.
But one has my boy Easton McGee.
Yes, correct.
I'm telling you.
I mean,
he's going to break camp in some way, shape, or form. It's just he's going to haunt us.
Is he going to play in any game that is not decided by 5 or more runs this year?
He might be that white flag kind of guy, either direction.
Right. You're winning by 7 or losing by 7, and instead of throwing a position player, you throw Easton out there.
I think so. The reason we kind of laugh about Easton McGee is it was a good interview. We interviewed him. I don't think we ever played him because we're always just too busy and we got to get to this guy and that guy and that guy. So we never did get to Easton McGee. And we were laughing about it one night after work with a few beers in me. And it was like, what's going to happen. We shunned Easton McGee. He's going to make that ball club.
And he's going to be a stud the entire year. Now, looking at the 40-man, the Brewers 40-man, just to tell you, here's a couple of arms that are left off, and I think those are the ones to really look at. Now, remember also here, Tyler Black, not on this opening day roster for either men. I think that's probably the most notable of the bats that didn't make it in this case.
Him, Badu, and Jet Williams, I think you could have a conversation.
What about Brandon Lockridge?
They love him too.
And he's had a decent spring, showing a little pop too.
Breckenridge, I think there's some depth there, and it's their type of player. Is he going to be a superstar? No. But is he going to play, the versatile role that they wanted him to play? Of course. That's an injury backup plan.
Here are some of the arms that would be left off this opening day roster here that are also still a part of the 40-man, just to clarify here. Craig Yoho, which I feel like we both understand why Craig Yoho wouldn't make it onto an opening day roster, but is a part of the 40-man. Carlos Rodriguez is also a part of the 40-man roster, not listed here. Robert Gasser, Logan Henderson, Shane Drowan, some of the highlights of the guys that aren't on the minors part of the 40-man roster.
And Shane Drowan, we will see.
Oh, yeah. I want to see him. I actually think that, we have a text coming in on the Nicolay Law Talking text line, 414-677-1250, if you want to be a part of that. Came from Ron in Rome saying that he was still upset about the Caleb Durbin trade. It seems that the Brewers front office and the Milwaukee media overvalues prospects and undervalues actual performance in the big leagues. They're all saying Caleb Durbin is just going to regress and our prospects are going to be hot stuff. Caleb had tenacious at-bats last year. That is from Ron in Rome. But Tim, remember Friday I had given you something that I felt a whole lot better about at the end of the week than I did at the beginning of the week. And the Caleb Durbin trade was my answer during that time.
And Ron, I completely understand where you're coming from. But I think if you omit history and just solely look at this trade, forget about, the plan that the Brewers have always had, always trading away their guys and always overvaluing prospects and got to fill the cupboard up again and all of those things. But if you just isolate this trade only and forget about history, I can't help but love this deal. I can't help but love it. We're going to find out. Shane Drowan, I think he's a key to this trade.
I really do too.
Because what you get out of Kyle Harrison is, I think there's a better barometer to know what Kyle Harrison is than Shane Drowan. So Shane Drowan puts this thing over the top if he comes out as, wow, they got him in that Durbin, Monasterio, and Siegler trade. That's what puts this trade over the top. Keep your eye on Shane Drowan. He's the one. Harrison, I mean, this kid is young.
Yeah, 24.
24 years old. At some point, the talent dictates, barring injury, that talent, that pure talent dictates that Kyle Harrison, one of these years, is going to have a really good year.
Yeah.
Now, throw in Chris Hook working with him.
And on top of this, a couple other texts coming in here. Justin in Germantown saying, is there a reason why they wouldn't give Gasser a chance? And I think the reason, Tim, is all those names we just said in front of Gasser too. Would you rather see them give Gasser a chance at the big league level, or a guy like Logan Henderson, who's going to be drawing a short stick, it looks like, too?
That's right. Those two guys, Henderson and Gasser. I think a lot of people projected those two in the lineup, in the rotation this year. If you go back a couple of years, because we talked about it on the post-game show. You guys talked about it. Wow, the future is so bright. Look at these guys. Logan Harrison and Robert Gasser through the pipeline. That is still valid. It's just that now they're shuffled down a little bit. That's a good thing to have.
Right. Absolutely. One more real quick here before we head to Matt Arnold from last week on Spring Training Live. Is there any reason that a team with as much pitching depth as the Brewers have wouldn't consider a 6-man rotation, especially at the beginning of the season when they've got some guys who need a little bit more time, ready to go, and want to protect the health of the main rotation deep into the season as much as they can? Just curious from Ted in Milwaukee. If you didn't hear how we started this segment with going 5 or 6 innings, I can't imagine giving them an extra day off would make you too happy, Mr. Tim Allen.
Right. So you can look at it as a rotation of 5 with an off day. That can be your 6th man.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go 6-man with the off days, it's a 7-man, really. I mean, how do they – the off days are good, and I understand that there's sprinkled in a lot of off days here early on. That's going to do nothing but help, but these guys are creatures of habit. They need to know, most all of them, what they're going to tell us and you is that I'll do whatever they want me to do.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like Woody – veteran guys, they're going to tell you, no, I want 4 days rest. I want to pitch every 5th day, not 5th man or 6th man. They want to go by the days. I mean, I don't see a 6-man early on. I really don't.
Well, why would you at this point? They want a rhythm. They want a routine, like you're saying, Tim.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Matt Arnold, we had a fun conversation with the Brewers GM last week in Arizona. We're going to hear from him, and the Brewers have to do it a certain way, and he's going to explain that to you on the other side if you missed it. There's Tommy Wirtz, Tim Allen, another edition of Hot Stove Weekly, talking Brewers baseball, just 2 weeks and 1 day away from the opener of the 26 championship season. We are live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Ooh, we'll get into that in just a second here. We'll tell you what has to happen for that to happen. In the meantime, last week we had a conversation with the Brewers GM, Matt Arnold. It was fun. Give this a listen. American Family Fields of Phoenix, Tim Allen, Tommy Wirtz with, we got called to the principal's office.
Yeah,
today,
we are in trouble a little bit.
Yeah, Matt Arnold, good enough to join us here. Matt, how are you, man?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, no problem. We love Brewers baseball. I think I made mention to you last year that, we're fans first and then broadcasters. Sometimes our bosses don't like it that way, but we're gonna be Brewers fans.
I mean, we're fans first too. I mean, it works both ways. We're all fans here, and I love the Brewers to death. I love Wisconsin. It's I didn't grow up here, but I love living here, and I'm a biggest Brewer fan as anybody out there. So I love it, and then obviously the job comes next. But yeah, it starts with being a fan and loving the team, and that's what it's all about.
It's you say it's about fandom. When you're growing up and you're getting into the baseball world, I'm sure before you became a GM, you were already putting together a baseball team in your mind. These are guys I'd love to have on my team. Do you find yourself ever from this is what I would have done as a young kid and translating it into like a little bit of your everyday life to an extent?
Yeah. I mean, I tried as hard as I could to play the game. And so I understand how humbling it can be to try and not be good at this. And then also, like you said, I was putting together fantasy baseball teams with my kid, as a kid with my dad, building, the roster with my dad, from his office. He had a fantasy team, with the people that I worked with or that he worked with. And I was, drafting Mike Piazza as a rookie was something I was like, yeah, let's go. And, all the, like,
do you have a thing for the fast guys always the speed?
Sure. It does. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I love the little guys that can run always. So, but yeah, no, always been sort of putting together teams and just, I just love the game and love the history of the game and always reading it and listening to the radio and all those things, man. I just couldn't get enough.
Yeah, doing the post game show, man, for years and through Doug Melvin and your predecessor, and you guys have different philosophies on things. And what might be, Matt, some variations that you've had with other GMs, or is it all sort of this pocket and y'all, generally speaking, have the same kind of thing?
Yeah, no, I think you just try to borrow from the good people that you've worked with. I've been fortunate to work for, I think, 10 or 11 different general managers in the 26 years that I've been doing this, and not all by choice. It just sort of happens, and you try to borrow the good and the bad from everyone, in the different situations. I've been part of very tough situations. I've been part of great situations, and you just try to learn from everybody. That's the thing that I just try to take away is I'm learning every day and I'm trying to get better and borrowing from the good people that I've been around.
Well, and then making a trade with your former boss. I mean, would that make it easier or a little more difficult? I'm thinking, his tricks. and that had to put you in a little bit of a more difficult spot or more challenging.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, I think it's certainly, you just know what the triggers are probably. And you're also, we're good friends, and so I think you kind of recognize when you hit the end of the line on something and you just got to workshop it from both sides, right? I mean, David and I partnered together for, almost a decade, and so we're very good friends and close. And so in a lot of ways, it just made the conversation more organic and I'm glad it worked out for both sides.
Brewers general manager Matt Arnold joining us here on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Well, you talked about stealing some of the best stuff that you learned from people along the way. You figured it out last year. Very successful season, 97 wins, winning a playoff series as well for the first time in a few seasons. Can we expect to see more of the same because of how successful things went last year in 2026? Obviously, working to get better always, but last year was pretty good. You almost made a blueprint for yourself, it feels like, this year.
Yeah, look, I think that's part of the goal is ultimately we want to win a World Series in Milwaukee. That's first and foremost. And so we put ourselves in a position to do that. Hopefully, last year, this year, and for the foreseeable future. I think our system is doing very well according to external sources. And, we're proud of the work that our scouting and player development group has done. And so we feel like we're in a really good spot to be competitive for a long time and hopefully give us a chance to win a ring. That's what we want to do.
Speaking on behalf of a lot of Brewers fans, I think you've earned the trust. And one example would be, a lot of people say that your draft capital or your prospect capital why don't the Brewers ever trade away prospects at all to get what they really, really need? In all honesty, you did it last April with Yoferi Rodriguez for Quinn Priester, and that worked out just dandy.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, look, we want to stay nimble, in both directions. We want to have a good pipeline of players. That's super important to us. At the same time, like you said, we're happy to deal when the opportunity presents itself, and to access somebody like Quinn Priester and what he did last year was great, and he's been unbelievable. And, again, those are the types of things when you're dealing from a position of strength, and hopefully our system it continues to remain strong. It just gives us more chances to do that.
Yeah. One of those trades on full display yesterday from this past offseason, Kyle Harrison. I mean, very impressive stuff. What he did against Great Britain yesterday. What are some traits that you saw that makes you excited to make a trade like that this offseason?
Yeah, look, I mean, anytime you trade somebody like Caleb Durbin, it's tough. He meant a lot to our franchise, and what he did last year, especially in the playoffs, I mean, he was great. And so at the same time, to access somebody like Harrison, Drohan as well, and David Hamilton, the dynamic athlete that he is, the combination of that for us really felt like it was the right thing to do. And when you think about it and zooming out a little bit on the Freddie Peralta trade, being able to access guys like Sproat and Jet Williams, those are guys that, and we'll see Sproat today against the Cubs. It's exciting when you look at the guys like Harrison and Sproat, Drohan, et cetera, to be that next line of good pitchers going forward.
And how collaborative is a decision like that? I know it can't just be all authoritarian. Matt wants to make this guy happen, so it's going to happen. But how reliant are you on a lot of different departments to make a trade like that?
Yeah, super. I want to make sure I talk to Murph. I talk to our coaches. I talk to our staff, our scouts, everybody that's involved. I think that's really important because that's why they're here. They're the experts in those different fields. And I want to make sure I tap into as many voices as I can when making a decision like that.
You're not done yet this spring, right?
We're never done. No, we're always.
Oh, so you're going to break some news for us.
I mean, happy to. If you got anything you want to brainstorm on, I'm open. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Well, any breaking news? He just said
you give us Dave's. You give us Stern's number. We'll start the conversation.
You should call him. Actually, he's got good dough.
Matt Arnold just broke the news. He made another trade announcement tonight on Spring Training Live.
And Matt, like you say, you're never done. A great example also last year, what Andrew Vaughn meant for the team as well. What's the difference between off-season negotiations and in-season negotiations?
I think we just need to rename it because it's not the off-season. We're never off. I think we're always on. And for the most part, I mean, there's just it's Christmas morning, it's New Year's Day, right? There's just not a lot of off days for us, and that's great. I think we love it, and but there's very little downtime with what we do, and we love that because it's something that we want to try to pour our hearts into to try to put a good team on the field, and so we're always looking to get better no matter what time of year it is.
Super quick here. We'll get to the fans here in just a second, but I'm a big fan for whatever reason of Coleman Crow. So can you dig a little bit deeper into your prospects? We all know the Madeys and the Peñas and Wilkins and guys like that, but is there a guy a little bit deeper into the system that you want to give Brewer fans a heads up about?
Wow. I mean, we could be here for a while on that one. I mean, I'll talk about Coleman Crow. I mean, really a guy who's battled some injuries, but honestly, a guy that can really spin the ball, can pitch, has great ingredients, good extension off the mound. I mean, just really, he's not that big, but he's a really, really good athlete over the rubber and a good pitcher, and so a guy that we're happy to have. And again, when you just talk about stockpiling good arms, he's a guy that could emerge just like we saw with Chad Patrick a year ago.
Well, and before we get into the fans, I wanted to get into the manager, Murph, right? We all heard the news from the offseason. Super excited to have him be a part of this organization for as long as he's been and in the future. What's it like for you to have a guy like Murph to help you out? You talked about how you talk with him for a whole bunch of different things to make sure you guys are on the same page, but how easy is he to work with? How helpful is he in what you've done so far with the Brewers? Just talk a little bit about Murph.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Murph. I mean, we talk every day in the off season and all. I mean, we just talk.
There's no off season. We just
that's right. Thank you. Yes, sir. That's right. We talk all the time, and I love that. He's a great resource for me. Has a very different background than me, which I love and I appreciate. The perspective that he has on the players and what the team needs is really important, and so I want to tap into that all the time. And he's a warrior. He's a guy that you want on the front lines, and I'm thrilled to partner with him.
this may have been handed down from Melvin to Stearns to you. It's clear to me, it's crystal clear, Matt, that character, as well as talent, and maybe even parallel with the talent, is extremely important for your organization. I don't know if you've ever talked about that directly, certainly not to me, but that character, and again, those are good dudes in that building right there.
Yeah, no, it's super important to us, and it's something that's taken me a while to learn. Honestly, is when you do this, and it's not the game is not just played on paper. It's not, they're not robots. These are people, and they're going to be around each other all year, and you have to have the right mix of people to win games. And you can maybe tolerate a certain level of personality if the player's really good, and obviously you want to try to workshop that. And especially in our market, if it's a talented player, we want to try to get the most out of that guy. And I've had situations where you have a cast off from another spot that comes over and you try to get the most out of him because we have a really good coaching group. And so we want to make sure that we're just getting the best out of everybody. And I think, like you said, it's really important to have good people in that room.
Okay, now we get to some negative stuff. No, I'm kidding. When was the last time you and Murph disagreed on a personnel move?
This morning, minutes ago. Sure.
All right. Final thing
All
for
the
you,
time.
Matt.
It's great.
So you do have those debates.
Of course, yeah, that's healthy though. Yeah, we have to have that.
Sure. And your interaction with the fans in Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best place I've ever worked. I've been doing this 26 years, and I love the community. I love being a part of it, and we're about beer and brats and cheese and Bob Euchre, and I'm in on all that. So I love it here.
That is awesome, Matt Arnold. Thanks for the time, man. Good luck this year.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming out.
I mean, beer, brats, baseball, Bob Euchre.
Bob Euchre, yeah.
Like what? Did he miss anything?
I told you off the air what he missed. Starts with a B too. Anyway, I didn't catch it when it happened, but on the character question, it said it took him a while to learn that. That's interesting.
To learn to evaluate for that.
Yeah.
You think he meant? Yeah.
To evaluate and know that character is a big part of this. That's crazy. All right, we'll take a quick break and a little bit to go here. Hot Stove Weekly live in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook.
Mexico is going to play Italy and then running all the numbers with if we lost tonight with the runs allowed and runs scored and outs. So I just misspoke.
Whoa, was he on our show, Tim?
Wow. Yeah, Hot Stove. He just spoke on Hot Stove Weekly. There's Mark DeRosa. You know what that reminded me of? And I think a lot of people with kids that play ball in tournaments can relate to. It's runs allowed, runs scored, it's pool play, it's do you play on Sunday morning and then you got to beat a team by X amount of
pitch
runs,
counts, making sure that the kid's not throwing too many and he needs a day off because of it, right?
Yep. Did you use a pitcher? He went one too many innings and then you're disqualified. All of that. So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. And again, that's when you're dealing with 11-year-olds who you have to make sure everyone plays, as opposed to I'm going to throw my B team out there against Italy and not quite understand the rules. And for those of you who don't know, Italy did beat the U.S. yesterday 8-6 in the WBC. The U.S. finishes 3-1 in pool play. However, it does not clinch them a spot in the quarterfinals like Mark DeRosa did think. They need a couple of things to happen, Tim. Do you know the layout of this?
It's a little convoluted to me.
Okay, so what it is as if Italy wins, it doesn't matter. The U.S. will be in the quarterfinals.
And Italy's playing Mexico.
Italy is currently playing Mexico as we speak right now, and they are winning 1-0 in the bottom of the third. Mexico up to bat during this. The Mexican team, if they were to win, they would have to win by they would have to score 4 or fewer runs and win the game, and then Mexico and Italy would win. If Mexico scores 5 or more runs and wins the game, then Mexico and the United States will win. So if it is a low-scoring game, for instance, if the score were to be 2-1 final, Mexico beats Italy, the United States will not advance in the World Baseball Classic. That goes all the way up until a final score of 4-3 in favor of Mexico.
So if Mexico scores 5 or more runs and wins that game, U.S. is in.
U.S. is in.
All right.
So you're looking for Mexico. 5 out of one of them. Or Italy. If Italy scores 5, it's over too.
But, on the other hand,
I guess.
There's no guarantee if you go your A lineup for DeRosa in the prior game that they come out with a victory.
Sure.
Chances are, though, I would think they would.
Well, or score more runs, and then it would be a harder run total.
Then the run total would take part.
It is Bush League from Mark DeRosa. I'm sorry. I mean, how do you mess that up that badly? That you just don't know the rules. He said the day before, we've already punched our ticket. Verbatim. He thought they were in. He said the guys were out the night before, hanging out. And you know why that this is all really blowing up back in their face too, Tim? MLB.com has scrubbed all of the footage from those press conferences now. They know that he messed up. They know he didn't know the rules. He didn't misspeak. He didn't know, Tim.
Did he just cost himself the managerial job for the Olympic baseball team in 28?
Yeah. Oh,
I think
gosh.
So.
Yeah. You don't know the rules? I mean, you have the easiest manager job in the world. It's easier than the Dodgers job.
And
it
how
really
many coaches? How many coaches on that staff?
All of them. Yes. Yes. Same deal. How does no one tell him, or no one knows the scenario to say, oh, that was wrong? Actually, no, we definitely have to wait and see now after that happens.
This goes into winning is never bad. This is, I mean, if you're going to play the game to win, play the game to win big.
Yeah.
You have the roster. Why? You have a starting lineup. Why? Well, because that group is better than that group. This isn't about getting little Johnny a couple of innings in right field when he can just look at the clouds and pet a cat that's roaming around out there. I mean, come on, guys. Play to win the game and win large.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's too uber competitive. I don't know.
I when I heard you make the analogy of watch the clouds and pet a cat, I couldn't think of old grandpa napkins. Like that was like my next line.
Yeah, more on that next week. Why Tim Allen carries paper towels in his back pocket.
Everywhere he goes.
Everywhere I go.
And why Tommy made fun of him and then quickly had to eat his words right after.
You quickly had to borrow a napkin. Yes. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll talk to you again next Wednesday. More Brewers conversation. In the meantime, next time I'm on, I'll be on with Josh in the morning show Monday morning.
Well, does that mean actually the next time we're together, it won't even be Hot Stove, right?
That's true.
It'll be Wednesday morning.
Wednesday, we get the morning show together,
Yeah.
Tim and Tommy, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All right, that's going to do it for us. You guys have a great night. We'll talk to you in a few days. Have a good weekend. And that's going to do it for Hot Stove Weekly, live here in the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook and Smile, Wisconsin. Bob Uecker is smiling back.